Hello YouTube, it's Thomas again with another video on feeling stuck in first year of fine art. Are you feeling stuck and what can you do about it? What's my advice as someone who's graduated from a University of the Arts London course, and how did I kind of navigate my years 1, 2 and 3? So I'm going to start this video pretty bluntly. I'm assuming those clicking on this video are not in the most positive kind of, I guess, mindset, because otherwise I feel like you wouldn't be on a video like this. So I guess I'll start off with some points which I think might reflect or may not reflect your situation. First of all is you've chosen fine art because obviously you feel like you have some kind of potential to do well in the creative industry, but you've started your course and you realize, oh, they don't teach me anything. By anything, I mean kind of, I guess, anything practical. They don't so much give you practical, technical, any sort of advice on how to really develop your practice or work, unless the tutors are speaking to you about ideas and concepts which seem to be changing all the time, and inside you're speaking about them, but inside you're kind of thinking, yeah, I don't even really know what I'm talking about, or I feel unsure of what I'm talking about, or you feel like it doesn't matter because you don't really believe in what you're doing yet. And now you're coming to the point where, you know, you're a bit sure, you're feeling a bit dead, maybe you're feeling a bit negative about your work and the environment, and you're wondering, did you make the right choice? Because obviously a degree is a large investment, and you're wondering, are you in the right space, and are you doing the right thing in that space, and kind of what's going on. And then I come in with my practical advice, and I think I have some genuine advice that if you follow my advice, you will see a significant improvement in the way you approach your work. And I think you realize that I'm blunt about things. It's more about you in the environment than what the environment is. So practical tips about disciplining yourself and your practice. That's what I'm going to be giving here. And my first piece of advice is step up your bloody game, okay? Now, I don't want to kind of push people away by saying, you know, oh, you just need to work harder. I do think that there should be criticism towards courses that, to be honest, don't really offer much in terms of, I guess, practical development or technical skills. Yes, there is a criticism there, valid criticism there, but at the same time, you know, you've chosen to go into a course where they give you some kind of space for studio practice, and now you need to learn how to bloody work independently. Now, you need to flick on some kind of switch in your brain which says, you know, no more excuses. I'm here to work. I need to work out how to work. You know, this is the key thing. And I'm going to give you some practical advice on how to work and how you can improve your work, which is a shame because I think universities don't tend to do a very good job at kind of, I guess, encouraging, maybe not encouraging that, but I guess helping you refine that. Because obviously each individual has an individual practice. You need to have a good understanding and self-awareness that, you know, will help push you forward. But at the same time, I think that there are some traditional aspects of art that have been forgotten about in kind of modern or contemporary courses, which I believe should be at the core of everyone's practice. So how do you actually improve then and develop as an artist? How do you improve your practice? How do you, you know, get your work flowing and, you know, I guess, refine your creative skills and practical skills? Obviously, speaking of fine art, I'm going to assume that you're either doing some form of painting, some form of printmaking, some form of sculpture, or maybe a combination of these things to form some kind of installation or something of the sort. And in all of these cases, my first piece of advice, drawing. Ask yourself, what are your drawing skills like? You know, are you looking to improve your drawing? Is drawing something you even ever focused on in your entire, I guess, existence as an artist? I would argue that the things that drawing teaches you are at the core foundation of so much artwork. Whether you're working in a 2D, a 3D, a 4D sense, drawing teaches you, you know, core observational skills, whether it be to do with, you know, shape, paying attention to detail, composition, all of these things. Drawing helps you focus, you know, hone in on those observational skills, which influences then the way you work with imagery, whether that be in a 2D, 3D, 4D sense, like whatever. I guess 4D, does that count as imagery? But you get my point. Whatever project or assignment that you have, I would argue first year, always have some form of traditional or technical drawing on the side. Could be relating to your ideas, it could be not. Obviously, ideally for assessment, you want something relating to your ideas, but always have some form of drawing on the side. So you're always criticizing, I guess, your observational skills and trying to improve them through the process of drawing. And by drawing, obviously, there's lots of different ways to draw. You can literally just draw from observation. You can grid up a piece of paper and do a grid and just do a drawing that way. You can, I don't know, do some form of like sight-size drawing where you measure with a pencil. It's your choice on how you draw, and you can draw with charcoal, you can draw with pencil, but do some form of drawing on the side because it benefits your practice so much. And I'm planning on making a video in the future about practical tips and different ways that you can kind of improve your drawing, and how this kind of has an influence, positive influence on your practice. So stay subscribed, or subscribe if you'd be interested in seeing that in the future. So the next step I'm going to give is, maybe some tutors might hate me for this, but first year, this is your first year, okay? Your ideas, I would argue, they just really don't matter. This is my opinion, okay? Forget about your bloody ideas, okay? Focus on your medium. If you have, you know, if you're inclined towards sculpture, if you're inclined towards painting, what kind of sculpture, what kind of paint? Get good with one thing so you can properly communicate an idea in it, okay? Now, the reason I say forget about your ideas is because second year, you're going to have some time to think about your ideas. Third year, it's all about refining that concept and, you know, obviously putting on a show in your degree show that will, you know, present a mature understanding of whatever ideas you came up in second year. But honestly, I could not care less about what my ideas were in first year. And I know some people stick with, you know, similar ideas and slowly develop them. But I would say just focus on your practical skills in year one. Practical skills. And there are ways about going to do this. So what I would advise for learning, I guess, practical skills or technical skills regarding your medium, stalk all your tutors' work, okay? All the tutors that you have access to in the university. Whose artwork, I guess, represents what you want to learn, okay? Also, students. You go around and looking at everyone's bloody work and you realize that some students are better than you at what you want to do. Go to their face and say, teach me, okay? Or if you're an awkward introvert like me, message on Instagram, send an email, whatever. Like, do something to break the ice, because it's far less intimidating to approach someone after you've already messaged them or emailed them or something like this. Also ask yourself, if you still feel awkward, what is the worst that can happen? Someone says no or go away, like, big deal. It's really not a big deal. You're talking about things that you can learn in this space, in this environment, that could define the rest of your bloody career, and you're worried about someone saying, go away, I don't want to teach you how I paint. And there's always, you know, 25 other options that you could go to. Also understand that you have an extra option of obviously doing as much research online as you can, whether that be videos, forums, messaging, as I said, artists on Instagram, other social media networks. Don't worry about how much of a following they have. Try to get on their posts kind of as soon as they post them, have notifications on. They tend to reply to the first few comments or message them. I've had very positive and friendly responses from people with large followings, and just because I'm not scared to just message them and be obviously be respectful and enthusiastic in your questions, but people are happy to help. So far we've had focus on your drawing skills and then practical or technical skills regarding the medium that you've kind of chosen to try and master. Now, if you just focused on those things for your first year, I would say, you know, this is fine, obviously ticking all the boxes for assessment. And getting past so you actually get into second year. I'd say that this was a productive first year, but I have some extra kind of tips and advice, I guess, of how to ignite the fire with those kind of things that I just spoke about. You really need to stay in a positive mindset, you know. If the space up here isn't positive, and if you don't have confidence in yourself as an individual who's practicing, then it's going to be messy and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a very difficult 3 years for you. So you need to get rid of any kind of negative influence, whether that be distractions on your phone, negative people, people who just waste your time, I don't know, with gossip and just unnecessary fluff. Anyone who's, you know, having a negative influence on your work, saying, I don't know, knocking your confidence or trying to tell you, you know, you're not good enough or blah, 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 blah. You know the kinds of people I'm talking about. You really need to believe in what you're doing, okay? And if you don't, you need to begin to kindle a belief in what you're doing. Now, I did a video on how to become more confident as an artist with some practical advice in there. So for further details on this, you can check out that video if you're interested. Next piece of advice: constantly work out how to work harder, okay? We're all guilty of, you know, wasting time, not being efficient, being distracted by certain things. We're human beings, this is gonna happen. But how do you become more efficient with your time? How do you work your ass off more than you already are? And you need to constantly be in a positive criticism of yourself in regards to these kinds of things. Remember that you have access to a creative space for, you know, another 2 years. And if you're crying at the end of third year saying, oh my God, you know, my degree taught me nothing, I did nothing, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, but it's not just down to your degree, which, you know, as I said, has valid criticisms in some places. But, you know, you've got the independent power to work your ass off, make an amazing time of the space and the time that you have in that kind of time frame. And, you know, if you've done nothing, that's on you. That's not on your tutors or your degree. As I said, there's valid criticisms where, in some cases, but this is mostly kind of a space that you've got for 3 years doing independent work. If you've done nothing, that's on you. That's not on them. I guess to leave it on a positive note, this is, I mean, I feel like you need to do a kind of a discipline slap in the face to yourself. Don't listen to other people's negativity. Criticism, positive criticism is another kind of case altogether, but give yourself like a hard work slap in the face. Ask yourself how you can improve. Follow the practical tips I'm giving you in this video. If you really want to kind of obviously improve your observational skills and work on yourself to become more positive and confident, this is key when you're being an artist, when you're practicing as an artist, I should say. So to summarize the video, I just got a summary here. Improve your drawing, master your medium, stay positive and confident, and to top it off, work hard, and always work hard at working hard, if that makes sense. So I guess remember to watch my video on becoming more confident as an artist. I think there's some decent practical tips in there. And please subscribe if you've enjoyed my advice, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.